Good morning, class. This is your president speaking. As you may have already heard, your regularly scheduled Constitution Law class has been canceled. Professor Henderson will not be returning to our university due to his highly offensive assumption that the First Amendment should apply to all citizens, as well as all manners of speech, because, and I quote, all great revolutions and reform were born from unpopular and unpleasant opinions. We can see how this could be upsetting to some. Anyways, with us here today, acting as substitute on very short notice, is Professor McKnickers. He will be, should I refer to you as he?
Well, yeah.
Okay. He will conduct a story reading for you today, and for every other scheduled meeting until we figure out this whole faculty shortage. Professor, how are you feeling today? Are you comfortable?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just a little concerned with my own credentials here as a teacher. I mean, my target audience is usually between 5 and 7 years of age, so I'm not sure how to entertain students who are old enough to enlist in combat and porno.
Trust me, with all the safety measures demanded by our student body as of late, your teaching style is exactly what we're looking for at this moment. However, if you happen to say something deemed offensive by some of our students, you will be alerted by our new empathic AI stress censoring device you can see on your right. When this happens, just apologize for your transgression, rephrase your sentences accordingly, and remember to keep your privilege in check at all times.
Keep my what and where?
Students, please welcome our new interim professor with a big round of applause.
Some students are feeling an increase in anxiety due to the loud and abrasive sounds produced by your clapping.
Students, please show solidarity at this time by creating a more inclusive atmosphere with jazz hands. Okay, Professor, you may proceed.
Thank you, President. Okay, boys and girls, I will now read to you the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Yeah?
Some students are triggered by the protagonist's name.
Goldilocks?
The name suggests that the main character is a blonde Caucasian woman.
Well, the story does originate in England, so why would that be a surprise to anybody?
The story is beset with white privilege by perpetuating the traditional, Western beauty ideal.
Well, how do you know that the protagonist didn't bleach her hair like Beyonce?
Good point. Well, carry on.
Okay, once upon a time, there were 3 bears who lived...
A student wishes to know what kind of bears they are.
What kind? Black bears?
Your labeling of the bears as black is triggering for some students. Please refer to the bears as Ursidae of color.
Colored what?
Referring to persons of color as colored persons is considered offensive by all who do not identify as white Caucasian.
So that preposition makes all the difference, does it?
Professor, please refrain from snide or sarcastic remarks. They've been deemed microaggressive by the student union.
Microaggressive?
Microaggressions are subtle exchanges of bigotry against a marginalized group, which happen below the level of awareness of well-intended members of the dominant culture.
Okay. So how does one accidentally become a persecutor? Whoops! I meant to pour some milk into my morning bowl of cornflakes, but somehow I mistakenly disenfranchised a voiceless minority in the process.
Professor!
Look, I just find it odd that everyone here is so hypersensitive about offending persons of color, even though this classroom is whiter than Miracle Whip.
The members of our university's Black Student Alliance, named Kill Cracker, demanded a racially segregated safe space from the white student body, and so the administration capitulated to their demands by providing them with a titanium-reinforced, subterranean bunker on January 15th.
Couldn't you have picked a better way to commemorate King's legacy?
Their reasoning for this safe space was due to Caucasian people's low melanin levels, which they assert is the root cause for their naturally racist and sociopathic behavior.
Do you realize that sounds eerily similar to the Klan's assertion that blacks are naturally predisposed to thievery and raping white women?
Marginalized groups cannot be racist due to their lack of institutional power.
And yet these Kill Cracker students ironically have the entire administration in a panic and bending over backwards. So how does that work?
Professor, please start over and identify the non-human characters by their proper terminology.
All right, fine. Okay, once upon a time, there were three,
First die.
of color who lived in a house in the forest.
Some students are triggered by your white male insensitivity
What? But I'm a puppet!
towards those marginalized by classism and gentrification. Many are neither homeowners, nor can they afford to live outside of inner cities.
But the story's about woodland creatures!
Some students are triggered by your insensitivity towards other kin.
Are the what?
Other kin are people who identify as non-human. Partially, if not entirely. In spirit, if not in body.
Huh?
This is explained by some members of the other kin community, as possible through reincarnation, or by possessing a non-human soul.
Holy sheep shit! My regular kindergarten students aren't just divorced from reality.
It is unfair to limit one's self-determination according to their genetics.
Oh, but straight white men are oppressive shitlords, is that correct?
Professor, skip to the next sentence, please.
All right. There was a great big father bear, a middle-sized mother bear, and a tiny baby bear.
The story triggers some students for its blatant heteronormativity.
Hetero what?
Heteronormativity. It's the phenomenon where heterosexuality is taken as normal within a society.
But it is the norm.
The story fails to properly represent same-sex or polyamorous families.
But the story can only represent one family structure because there's literally only one family in it. Why would it surprise you then that the family structure chosen is one that represents over 95% of all family units?
Societal expectations, demands, and constraints are what perpetuate the gender binary and the nuclear family model.
You know, there is a simple biological explanation as to why straight couples are raising the most kids.
Some students are triggered by your assumption that gender is genetically determined and not merely a social construct.
Are you telling me that coitus is a social construct?
Professor, please do not mention rape among certain students without a prior trigger warning.
Who said I mentioned rape? I was talking about good old-fashioned bunking.
Many feminist students are triggered by your misogynistic questioning of a woman's lived-in experience.
Professor, before I'm forced to fire you for bullying and harassment,
Oh, so now correcting one's misunderstanding of my words is hate speech?
please continue on with the reading. But from now on, please describe the Bear family as, hold on. What? Okay, one male to female trans lesbian sperm donor, and, what? Huh? One gender fluid pansexual mother goddess, one agendered non-sexual triad partnered surrogate, and a purple penguin child.
Okay, I'm not quite sure with what you just said in that first part, but what in the hell is a purple penguin?
Assigning a gender to a child before puberty may lead to gender dysphoria, so referring to said child as a purple penguin is the most inclusive and sensitive option.
Your whole lesson in newspeak is causing me dysphoria, and I'm an adult!
Professor, please continue.
Oh, Jesus Christ, okay, fine. Alright, where were we? Okay, there was a great big, fluid, queerkin, non-conforming, transformer, half-calf with a twist of lemon. Fuck it! In the Compton Projects lived a great big beautiful snowflake of vibrant color and a medium-sized, what now?
Some of the students are triggered by your usage of size discriminatory and possibly fat-shaming terms.
But I said nothing disparaging! I used those words as merely matter-of-fact descriptors!
The usage of such quote descriptors may place judgment on those who don't fit within society's unrealistic beauty standards.
What the hell does that have to do with me? I've always preferred my girls to have a little more cushion for the pushing.
Some of the students are triggered by your sexually objectifying language and your fetishizing of certain marginalized groups.
Professor, need I remind you of our zero-tolerance sexual harassment policy?
Wait, so now I'm a misogynistic, rapey chauvinist for both noticing and not noticing the same goddamn woman? How can I satisfy both behavioral expectations at once without the supernatural aid of quantum physics?
Some students are triggered by your highly aggressive tone and mannerisms, which suggest you may suffer from toxic masculinity.
I'm displaying nothing less than righteous indignation! Neither I nor the story I've been reading aloud have made any derogatory judgments against anyone based on born traits. My snide remarks have been limited to those who exhibited faulty logic and dubious character. I'm so sorry that a short story comprised of 4 characters doesn't equally include the praising acknowledgement of 1,000 different demographics, but merely mentioning the existence of fictional subjects deemed privileged by certain real-life political circles does not impress anybody. If you want a story to include a schizophrenic, crippled, fat, aborigine, trainee midget werewolf of green color, then write your own. No one's stopping you!
Warning. Many students are now exhibiting acute signs of PTSD.
Oh, fuck you!
Please alert
Unfounded
authorized
self-diagnosis! You
safe
were
space
overly
quarantine.
emotional drama queens!
Attention students. We will
Many
now
students
begin
are now
evacuating
exhibiting
all
acute
those
signs of
affected by the
PTSD.
professor's vitriolic
Please alert
wrong
authorized
things.
personnel for immediate safe space
Soap
quarantine.
bubbles, for Christ's sake!
Please stand at the fire
Many
entrance
students are
in
now
single
exhibiting
file,
acute signs of PTSD.
relegating those with higher
Please alert
calculations of
authorized personnel
privilege
for
to the
immediate
back
safe
of the
space
line.
quarantine.
My father was diagnosed with
Make sure that all
Many
Muslims
students
are
are now
escorted
exhibiting acute signs of
Enough time to
PTSD.
straighten the
Please
eyes and
alert
make sure
authorized
that
personnel for immediate safe space quarantine.
catching holding a
Anyone
fence junkie!
experiences any
I'm making a
sexual assault
mockery
from one of the
out of a
most
legitimate mental
we
illness!
apologize.
For using it as a salad to glorious anyone with a differing opinion!
I can do anything. I can reach any goal today. I can do what I want. I can be what I want to be.